Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. As always, your host with the most, Ghost. Today we have the shoot interview with Dave and Earl Hebner. This is a RF video DVD release. And yeah, I was able to find this on eBay a while back for a pretty good price. So not real much to show you here, but yeah, very cool to have these autographs. And this was released in right after their release in about 2006, 2007. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is kind of what happened when they pulled out the slip to sign it. Earl signed his part, and then Dave kind of signed the plastic piece on mistake, and then just kept going. So it kind of looks funny, but very cool release. So yeah, I'm gonna get into this a little bit. This might be a longer type review, but yeah, it's a pretty interesting story, and the Hebners have worked with WWE going back to the mid 80s. They've been in wrestling pretty much all their lives. You know, they're the most famous referees in WWE history. You know, heavily involved with Montreal Screwjob. You know, they were one of the biggest angles in WWE history with the evil twin referees. And then, so I believe Dave was there over 17 years, and Earl was there about 15 years, maybe more. Yeah, so Earl Hebner was there from, I think, the 88 through 2005. They brought in Earl Hebner specifically for the angle there on Saturday night's main event in 1988, and he was released in 2005 along with Dave Hebner. And Dave Hebner was there probably closer to 20 plus years, and you know, they still think the reason they were released was, you know, a lie. You know, who knows if their views have changed. This is a DVD, was quite some time ago, so maybe they do have a different views on the situation in this current day. Who knows? They said they've refused, you know, Hall of Fames since they are now in the TNA Hall of Fame. So we'll see if, you know, time can heal all wounds, but you know, they were not happy with their release. You know, that especially in those days, you know, working 20 years at a place is, you know, pretty long to be at a company. You know, they witnessed, you know, some good times, some hard times. You know, Dave Hebner was one of the top agents. He would go with top stars. They'd call him, you know, a day in advance. Hey, we need you here. Can you catch a early flight in? Yep, I'll be there. You know, be at a signing with Triple H or Undertaker or whoever. And Earl Hebner, after Montreal, he was the top paid referee for many years. So they do get into, you know, their early lives and things like that. You know, I have mentioned before, Earl Hebner was in the NWA Crockett promotion, so he was, you know, getting his reps in early on. And yeah, they worked with the Crockett's to McMahon's. They go through, you know, a lot of stories, you know, from Ultimate Warrior, Big Show, Party with Nature Boy Ric Flair. And, you know, they do cover the Montreal Screwjob quite a bit. You know, take what you will with that, because I feel like it's been almost 25 years. I feel like people have kind of backpedaled on some of their stories. They've said, you know, the whether he was told at this point in time, at that point in time, we'll never know the real deal. Their stories have changed so many times, and it's really hard to keep track of everything. If he knew, if he didn't know, when he knew. These are all minute details that are getting changed time after time, and you know, I'm sure Earl had somewhat of a heads up regarding Montreal, but I don't think it was like the week before or whatever. I think he knew maybe the night before or the night of. It was kept pretty secret, that thing. And Earl Hebner and Brett have since made friends and whatnot. They were really good friends back in that day, so I think it really hurt Earl to do that, but it was just business. You couldn't really let him walk away with the title. I think Earl knew that. But I think this was a decent watch. The Hebners aren't very charismatic, but they're very entertaining. They have a lot of good stories to tell. They worked in WWE for, like I said, 20 years and whatnot. And, they were very happy working with TNA. I actually really liked Brian Hebner, his son. He was always one of my favorite referees on SmackDown. And, yeah, it was sad to see them go over a t-shirt or whatever it was, but they weren't, I don't think they were really doing much. They were selling t-shirts to their friends or to their co-workers here, and it had the WWE logo on it, and it would have their name on it, something like this. It was a really strange story. He still thinks it was a lie. They've had it out for them and whatnot. Someone didn't like them, and these guys were there night after night for years. So it's all really strange. They busted their asses for WWE for several years, and over a t-shirt, like I said. So who knows? This was a partnership they had, I think, in St. Louis or something. And yeah, Earl Hebner was always one of the top referees and one of my favorites. You found him and very entertaining with Austin and whatnot. He said that he loved doing that stuff with getting into it with Triple H and guys like that, and he knew what he could handle, and that thing with Hogan really put him on the map, and he pretty much worked his way up, becoming an official after that. But yeah, it was a decent watch. It only goes about 90 minutes. If you guys have this in your collection or you could find it for cheap, pick it up. It's definitely worth a watch. I'm sure you could find it on eBay once again, or check RF Video, High Spot, something like this. This is a fairly older release, so not sure if you would be able to find it. And, as always, we'll talk to you later. Let me know your thoughts on the Montreal Screwjob. That's always been, one of my favorite subjects. There's so many DVDs on it, and, so many guys have an opinion on it. Brett's, done countless interviews on there. And Sean. But as always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.